I really think Annie Rose Strasser identified a really important point, and one that for many people, particularly many men, may be a wake-up, and that is that there is no male equivalent to the word slut, or at least if there is, it's obscure. It's rarely used. And, for example, I remember back in 98 or 99, one day, Louise and I were living in Vermont. One day, a fax came through a fax machine that was this 3-page fax that was a formal invitation to come to Rome and have a personal audience with Pope John Paul II. And at first I thought it was a practical joke, and then I responded and discovered that no, I was actually being invited to Rome for a personal audience with Pope John Paul II. And so, of course, I said, sure. I'm on my way. Can I bring my wife, and can she meet the Pope too? And they sent back a fax. Most of this communication was by fax back then. And they sent back a fax saying, she can come, she can be in the room. He probably will not speak to her or touch her or allow her to touch him. And she has to dress a certain way, and they attached this long, in my memory, it's like 5-6 pages. It might have actually just been 2 or 3, but this long list of the things that Louise was allowed to wear or not wear in the presence of the Pope, and there wasn't a single word about what I was to wear. Now, maybe that's because in our society, to put the very best possible interpretation on that, that's because in our society, men basically wear suits and ties, and we all dress the same for formal occasions. I mean, what am I going to do? Show up in a Hawaiian shirt and flip flops? I mean, there's not even it's not even conceivable. Whereas for women, there's a wide variety of things that are considered formal wear. I mean, just watch the Academy Awards. Every single man there is wearing black and white. They all look like penguins, and the women are all dressed differently. So it could be that the Vatican felt that it was necessary to say, okay, out of the hundreds of varieties of things that you can wear, here's a. But the essence of it was that she had to cover her shoulders, she had to cover her arms, she had to cover her legs to a certain length, and for it to be proper. So, in other words, to not look like a slut. There's no male equivalent word for this. I find the entire thing fascinating. Joe, you are a retired teacher who had a dress code for both genders in your school.
Yes, we do.
But was that dress code? I remember dress codes when I was a kid. It was like boys can't wear shorts, girls can't, have to wear dresses or something like. But that was a long time ago. But it wasn't for girls. It might have been do not sexualize yourself. It wasn't for boys. For boys, it was don't be too casual.
Well, yeah, it's vastly different. I'm about your age, and it's vastly different than when we were in high school. But it was the fashion with the boys to sag their pants with the vernacular.
Yeah.
And where, they would
hang them so low the top of their butt is showing.
Be exposing a lot of cleavage in the back.
Right.
But, I wear shirt and tie every day. And that's my work environment, and I made an effort to make sure that was a professional environment.
Uh-huh.
And a really extremely low-cut top on a girl who is a woman is just inappropriate. And it's a huge distraction. I'm no prude, and I really want to do my job, and I don't want to be looking over there going, what the,
Why is it that first of all, would you suggest that the sagging pants that are showing some guy's butt crack or the top of his butt, that is somehow sexual? It doesn't seem to me like that's sexual.
Well,
it doesn't seem to me like that's an attempt to be sexually attractive. It seems to me that that's more of an attempt to assert, membership in a particular community of people.
I can tell you, if they were trying to be sexual, it didn't work with most of the girls, because I had asked the girls before, what did they think of that, and they hated it.
Right. So we're back to this thing of there's no equivalent to slut for men. Do I have that right?
Yeah, that is unfortunately the case.
And so dress codes around boys are not about being sexual; they're about being proper. Whereas dress codes for girls are around being sexual because they will distract boys. And you've got women like Annie Rose, and I don't want to put words in her mouth, but you've got women suggesting, and I agree with her on this, that really shouldn't be something that the women have to worry about. Or is it just that, hey, that's biology, get used to it? I mean, where's reality here?
Well, I think it's still about being appropriate for that environment. And I think the boys should dress appropriately and the girls should dress appropriately. I don't think the sagging pants are appropriate, and I don't think a low-cut top is appropriate for a female.
Yeah. Okay. Very interesting. Okay, Joe, thank you very much for the call. Barbara, how much time do we have? Oh, we only have 24 seconds. Barbara, you want to hold on, and I'll pick you up after the break?
Yeah.
Okay.
Manho.
Oh, manwhore is the word, is the male equivalent
Manho.
Manho. Oh, interesting. And women use that word?
I use it all the time when I tell my husband his pants are too tight.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Okay. So, but it's not as widely known. It's a more obscure word. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you for the call, and thanks for sharing that.